Spring is sprung. Yes. Let's dream. Beautiful.
If that's what you want.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. For peace. All right.
I'm listening.
Spring is sprung. Yeah. Yes, I'll do my best. Yeah.
Orders for me. If that's what you want.
Of course. Well, let's dream. For peace. Sweet dreams. Beautiful.
Orders for me.
All right. Yeah. Yes.
I'm listening.
Well, don't get carried away. Let's dream. Time to play. All right, I'll do my best. Yeah. Time to sleep.
Orders for me.
Spring is sprung.
that's what you want.
Let's dream.
Hey everyone, GuardianE here with another Camilla Emblem Clear video for Fire Emblem Heroes, and today we're taking on the Mythic Hero Battle of FREYJA and Triandra. So yes, that is 2 for the price of 1. We are getting 2 Mythic Heroes in one battle for the first time ever in Fire Emblem Heroes, and that in and of itself is a daunting prospect. But the map itself actually isn't too bad, and we'll be going over that in a little bit more depth, but let's take a look first at the 2 Mythic Heroes on the map. We'll start off with FREYJA here. So Big Bad of Book 4 FREYJA, Lady of Nightmare. She's got her regular kit plus Fierce Stance 3 as the seal, so that's going to improve her damage output whenever she's on enemy phase. And of course, she can counterattack from any range because she has built-in distant counter into her weapon. Plus 3 speed, as well as the whole damage reduction based off of her speed stat. So she's going to be relatively tanky to take out in general. Not to mention she's got some Abyssal level stats. Now I do think, and I'm just guessing, but I do think they toned down the stats in this Abyssal map just because there were two Mythic Heroes. I'm not entirely certain of that, but it did feel like that. Regardless, she does have some impressive stats. And then, of course, if she does transform into her goat form, because she is a Beast Cavalry, then she's going to have some exceptional player phase ability, obviously huge range with 3 movement, and she's going to get increased damage, in-combat debuffs, and you can't make a follow-up attack against her. You can't double against her. So those are all really powerful things. Comes with attack speed solo, and then of course, again, in conjunction and working in tandem with the solo skills, her own unique Beast Slash skill is just going to increase her damage output and her survivability by debuffing her enemy, giving herself an in-combat buff, and then even further just negating any buffs that the enemy has with respect to their activated buffs. So if you're a character that relies on having a lot of activated hones, rallies, fortifies on your team, just bear that in mind that if FREYJA attacks into you, she is going to take those bonuses for herself and negate those bonuses on your character. Pulse Smoke 3 as well, but FREYJA is certainly very stacked in terms of what her capabilities are on both phases in general. And next we can take a look at Triandra. So Triandra plays more of a support role naturally. She is a flying dancer, and she comes with Flower of Sorrow as well as Frightful Dream, and this pairing of skill and assist allows her to have wide-ranging cardinal direction debuffs on the opposing team, including a guard effect, which is going to naturally negate your ability to gain special charge as you normally would. And if you rely on that is going to be a problem that you want to make sure that you circumvent. Now, comes with Miracle. She also comes with Iote Shield. Those are the 2 additions that the Abyssal map gave her. Iote Shield naturally just so you can't snipe her out of the air with an archer. It seems like an okay fit for her. But everything else, she comes basically with her default kit, and she plays the role of a nuisance, a dancer basically, on the enemy team. Other just catch-all things about the map: enemies will start running towards you and approaching you without you baiting them out, so you don't have to bait them out on turn 1. They will come to you, so you don't have to worry about that. FREYJA herself will not move until turn 3, so she's going to stay right there by herself. However, Triandra will move, and then the reinforcements themselves, they'll come in waves every turn. That is not provoked by certain kills, at least as far as I could tell. They will just come in hot and heavy. Even if you don't kill anybody, you're going to be faced with a lot of reinforcements on the enemy team. So one of the reasons why I say this map is so favorable is because if you're using flyers, there are some obstacles on your side, right? There's the trees and there's the pit, but obviously flyers don't have a problem with that. They can just fly right over all of those obstacles. So we have freedom of mobility on our end of things, and we can actually use those to choke point and bait the enemy in certain directions. And then furthermore, on the enemy side, they have this wall. Now, the wall itself prevents you from being able to just take pot shots at Triandra and the Red Flyer, for example, on turn 1, without the help of like certain assists and dances and refreshes and stuff like that. However, at the same time, it blocks off the enemy from making their approach as well. So what you have is negligible obstacles on your side that don't really affect you, but actually do affect the AI, or at least some of the AI. and then this wall here that actually acts as sort of a buffer for the enemy approach. And that's going to be particularly helpful for our team because we're using Brave Camilla that has a gravity effect, and that's going to give us a little bit of an edge in terms of choke pointing the enemy approach. So let's take a look at the Camillas themselves. It didn't really have to make many changes whatsoever. Let's start with Vanilla Camilla. Has her default kit whenever I go in blind on a challenge, plus 10 speed asset. Has Camilla's Axe with Special Refine, Reposition, Draconic Aura, Distant Counter for the A slot, Renewal for the B slot, Hone Flyers for the C slot, and Chill Attack 3 for the Seal. Next up, we've got Spring Princess Camilla, Summoner Support, plus 10, 5 Dragon Flowers, and a Speed Asset. Has her Grand Raven, Triangle Adept build, Reposition, Draconic Aura, Vantage for the B slot, Goat Flyers for the C slot, and Distant Defense 3 for the Seal. Here's Adrift Camilla, Flower of Fantasy Camilla, merged at plus 10 with an attack asset. Book of Dreams for her weapon, Reposition, Draconic Aura, Attack Res Bond 3 for the A slot, Quick Riposte 2 for the B slot, Goat Flyers for the C slot, and Attack Res Bond 3 for the Seal. I really should just go ahead and give her Quick Riposte 3. I don't know why I haven't done that yet. But that's really the only change that I made on her for the opening gambit on the map, in addition to giving her Attack Res Bond 3, just to give her some additional res to tank the initial hits. And finally, we have Light of Nor Camilla, we have Brave Camilla merged at plus 10, 5 Dragon Flowers, Attack Asset, Native Sangreather, Rescue Plus for the assist, Miracle, Attack, Speed, Push 4, the A slot, Wrathful Staff, Goat Flyers, and Renewal 3 for the Seal. So there are several ways to approach this map at the outset, and I think one natural pick is to take out and target Triandra and the Red Flyer on turn 1. Triandra specifically just because you don't want a Dancer flying around and giving everybody additional mobility, especially not Freyja. So the quicker you take out Triandra, the better. She also just provides debuffs on your team or against your team, so you want to avoid that as well. And I say the Red Flyer just because as a matter of collateral damage, if you're going to take out Triandra, you probably have to take out the Red Flyer as well, just by baiting. If you have a particularly potent Omni Tank, you could actually situate somebody right here on this tile to be able to take out the Blue Fafnir, Triandra, and the Red Flyer all on turn 1, because the Red Flyer does have Flyer formation, so they'll be able to swoop right here and initiate against the unit that's here. But for our purposes, our targets are going to be Triandra and the Red Flyer, so that is what we're going to do, and we're going to be using Adrift Camilla to do the job. So to get her into position, she has the activated buffs from the Hone Flyers. We're just going to reposition her up. And naturally, she of course has the Quick Riposte, which is going to allow her to double with impunity on turn 1. So now we're just going to situate everybody behind her just to give her the proper support. And as mentioned, the Red Flyer and Triandra are going to attack and get a face full of magical damage for their troubles. So on turn 2, we have the Bow Cavalier that spawned over here. Naturally, the huge range of being both a cavalry unit and a ranged unit and being an archer is a natural threat for a flyer team. So we want to take him out as soon as we can. This Cleric also over here spawned with Panic Plus. It is important, I guess, worth noting that both the Cleric down here and the Cleric up here, neither of them have Wrathful Staff, so neither of them are going to be doing considerable damage. They're just going to be doing a lot of debuffs. So, and you're not going to be able to counterattack them because they both have Wrathful Refines on their weapons. Flash will naturally negate your ability to counterattack within a particular turn, so you do just want to be wary about that. And then Panic is always annoying, but it's also relatively manageable, at least opposed to the Flash Plus. So back to taking out the Bow Cavalier, naturally we're going to be using Spring Camilla for that because she has effective damage against him. So we're going to player phase this Bow Cavalier. She's going to tank that hit on a player phase, but that's totally okay. And now we just kind of want to fall back and let the enemy funnel through between the trees and the wall. So let's reposition back to safety, and then we're just going to fall back a little bit in the same token. So the enemy's going to continue to make their approach. They're going to get a little confused by the wall and the cluttering of the enemies down the middle, and that's what I mean by the map being advantageous to you. The Flyers, in an attempt to kind of get around the cluster of enemies here, start going around to the right side, and it delays their approach. Naturally, that makes the waves of enemies coming and engaging a lot more manageable. We have this Axe Fighter that just spawned, has Wogun, has Spurn 3, has Rouse, Speed, Defense 3, so difficult to double, and of course is pretty sturdy all the same. And then you've got up here a Brave Sword Plus user, a Sword Cavalier, who has Sturdy Blow 2 as well. And for the B-slot skill, he has Lunge, which you always want to be wary about with cavalry melee units. Oftentimes if you try to bait them out, when they have something like Lunge or Dragback, they'll pull you right into the range of everybody else. So on this turn, relatively straightforward. The 3 threats that are currently able to engage on us are the Axe Fighter, the Lance Cavalier, and the Cleric. So we're just going to take them out one at a time. We're going to use Spring Camilla first to take out the Lance Cavalier here from a range. And we're just going to shift Vanilla Camilla up so that she is giving her Camilla's Axe buff to both Adrift and Brave Camilla. And then we're going to use Adrift Camilla to take out the Cleric here. Cleric's going to do 1 damage. And again, this Adrift Camilla has not only the buffs from Book of Dreams, but also the double attack res bond. So she's got some pretty decent res going on. And that also puts her in the range of the Cleric. Now remember, the Cleric is doing pitiful damage. They don't have Wrathful. So she's basically going to ding against Adrift Camilla. And then we can use Brave Camilla to take out the Axe Fighter on this turn as well. So there we go. Perfect. Cleric's going to make their approach, do 0 damage. Now we're going to get hit with the Panic, which is a nuisance, but that is totally okay, and we can manage, because what we're essentially going to do at this turn is fall back again, use the landscape to our advantage. Now, in terms of what spawned, we have this Axe Knight over here with that 99 HP, of course. Doesn't have Weary Fighter, though, so you are able to double him. However, he does have Guard Axe Plus, so that is going to have a guard effect when you're attacking into him, reducing your ability to gain Special Charge, Attack Speed Link, and then Aegis. And then on the other side, we've got this Blue Flyer with Blarfox, as well as Fury 3, got Mirror Strike, Aerobatics. So you always want to be wary when they have ground orders and aerobatics. That's just something to keep in mind in terms of movement shenanigans. And then we've got this Sword Fighter over here with Ruby Sword Plus, has Life and Death, Guard 3, lots of guard on this map, Close Guard 3, and Brazen Attack Speed 3. So naturally the Sword Fighter is going to be very, very effective against green units, so you want to make sure those green units are safely away from him. So like I said, on this turn, we're basically going to take a pot shot, and Brave Camilla ends up being something of an MVP here with her gravity effect, because it is going to negate the enemy's ability to approach and create more choke points. Specifically, Freyja has so much movement on this map, and she's such a threat on player phase when she is in her goat form and when she has the 3 movement. You want to make sure that you're limiting her ability to move forward, and that's what we're going to do here exactly. That's the total target of this turn. We're just going to hit the Cleric here, not do much damage. We are, of course, hit by the Panic effect, so we're kind of crippled a little bit in that respect, but that is going to put the gravity on Freyja, and that's mostly what we want for this turn. And now we're just going to reposition. Vanilla Camilla is still in the range, but she is tanky enough, and we don't have to worry. We're just going to kind of fall back outside of the danger zone here. So Vanilla Camilla is going to take a little hit there, and we're going to get panicked again, but that is okay. Got some rearranging to go around on the enemy side of things, and as you can see, it's getting very claustrophobic on their side, and that is because of the fact that the wall cut off the aerial approach, and then, you know, if the AI being wishy-washy on which way they want to go in, that delayed their approach, and then everybody's kind of funneled through the wall and the trees. So on this turn, we're going to pick off a lot of the enemies that approach. We're going to take out the Sword Cavalier with Adrift Camilla here. Just going to proc that Draconic Aura and double and take him out. And then next, we're going to make sure to take out the Cleric, who is always a nuisance, continuing to panic us. We'll take her out with Spring Camilla with that effective damage. And at this point, we just want to, again, limit Freyja's ability to approach. So we're going to use Brave Camilla to attack, do a little bit of damage, do the gravity effect, and again, this creates a choke point from the enemy forces. The fact that the Axe Knight is over here means that the Axe Knight has limited mobility and is actually cutting off the Sword Fighter too. So at this point, we want to use Vanilla Camilla to reposition Brave Camilla out of range to safety. And you will note that the movement shenanigans of the Blue Flyer will allow him to teleport forward and attack, but I have 2 very powerful tanky greens blocking that, so we're going to be able to tank that Blue Flyer without any difficulty. So now on this turn, we're going to wrap up the rest of the enemy forces for the most part. We're going to finish off the Blue Flyer with Vanilla Camilla on player phase here. And then we are going to take out the Axe Knight with Brave Camilla on player phase. Again, not having Wary Fighter is a big issue for him. And once again, that is going to inflict gravity on Freyja. She's basically in gravity for most of the fight, which is whenever she's active after like turn 3. So that's exactly what we want. And now we're going to double up on the Sword Fighter with Spring Camilla here, whittle him down a little bit, and we're going to finish him off with Adrift Camilla. Now, Vanilla Camilla is in the range of the Lance Flyer, but again, she's tanky enough. She can absolutely tank that and finish off the Lance Flyer on enemy phase. So now we've just got the Blue Fafnir and Freyja, and that is it, and that is very, very manageable. So first things first, we want to just take out the Blue Fafnir, and we're going to be using Adrift Camilla to do that. Just double, activate Draconic Aura, take out the Blue Fafnir, and we're just going to now shift back, Rescue Plus, and reposition back to safety, and let Freyja approach. And now it's as easy as just kind of doubling up on her and ganging up on Freyja by using Brave Camilla first, and then finishing off with Adrift Camilla. So that's it. That's the strategy that I employed with Camilla Emblem to clear the Mythic Hero Battle of Freyja and Triandra on Abyssal difficulty. Let me know in the comments below what strategies and teams you ended up using to clear this Abyssal level map. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching and for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really, really do appreciate it. And certainly hope you're staying safe, healthy, secure, and united out there, and wishing the very best for you, your family, and your friends. And until next time, let's protect those skies.